then we got Kyrie Irving re-upping with the Dallas Mavericks. So Kyrie Irving and the Mavs are officially locked in for the long haul. Irving declined his $43 million option and set to sign a 3-year, $119 million contract coming up. The deal includes a player option for the 27-28 season, giving him flexibility while keeping him in Dallas through at least 2028. Despite recovering from a torn ACL he suffered back in March, the Mavericks prioritized retaining Irving as a cornerstone of their post-Luka Doncic era. He'll continue to lead alongside Anthony Davis and likely number one pick Cooper Flagg, forming a new big three in Dallas. Now, of course, that big three could easily become a big one because with Kyrie's injury, and of course Anthony Davis, who could break apart at any moment, Cooper Flagg could be carrying the ship by himself. Of course. Unless they all go out and make a move. Should Dallas make a move? There's still talk in the air if Dallas should even trade the number one pick, maybe go after, like, I don't know, call Boston for Jaylen Brown, or there's another big name out there that they could really build a big three off of, or they really sold that Cooper Flagg is the one, because they say big three, but I ain't going to go that far. I'm just going to be honest with you, because a healthy Anthony Davis obviously is one of the best 5 players in basketball. I mean, his skill set is just that good on both sides of the ball. There ain't that many great guys on both sides of the ball in the NBA in this era, especially bigs. So a healthy Anthony Davis, he can survive 75 games and to the postseason. Of course, Dallas is a contender. And Cooper Flagg, who comes in as a projected two-way star, right, with his two-way ability, but, it is Duke after all. You can't really, it's hard to really judge these Duke players because it's hit and miss with them, let's just be honest. They don't really live up to the high expectations. Like, they become good pros, they last in the league for a decade, but do they become like the guys that you can build NBA championships on? And hasn't been the case. So, will Cooper Flagg defy the odds? We'll have to find out. But he is coming to a decent situation with a healthy Kyrie, hopefully, and a healthy Anthony Davis. Cooper Flagg won't be forced to be the number one guy in day one, and he can likely fit right in. And he's on a higher trajectory. So here with Dallas, you got, because obviously Flagg is the future, right? So his projection is higher. So by the time he gets in his prime, Kyrie and Davis will long be gone, and they'll see maybe they could build around Cooper Flagg going forward for another decade. Maybe they steal a ring with a wide open NBA, because let's just be honest, today's NBA is so wide open that the Mavericks could very well win the title next year. There's no dominant team in the NBA. There's no team out there that's like all these teams are around. It's all based on who could outlast each other on the depth chart for it when it comes to injuries. Whichever team goes into the playoffs healthy, the healthiest team will have the best shot to win. And I know that's a cliche. Oh, of course, the best team. But literally, like, any team who can avoid a major injury will likely win the NBA title. So if Kyrie and Anthony Davis can avoid a major injury next year, the Mavericks are definitely legitimate contenders. And if Cooper Flagg even shows any promise that he's a legit number one pick, Dallas can win the title. I mean, it's just that simple. So, we can't count Dallas out. Now, San Antonio obviously is a team to keep an eye on. I mean, Texas is going to be crazy next year. Houston, San Antonio, Dallas. I mean, big Texas is gonna be, basketball is gonna be crazy down there next year. A lot of star players, a lot of big. I mean, the eyeballs are gonna be down there. If you're the NBA, you want to make sure that you get that TV contract, TV deals. You want to make sure you get as many of those games on TV as possible. Now I know you say, "Oh, San Antonio is boring," No, San Antonio, Houston, when those teams have good teams and they're big, they have large markets. They can reach outside of. Wembanyama's going to have a big international base. With San Antonio, they always have a big, a loyal fan base outside of the U.S. Dallas is going to have a big one, obviously. Yes, they did lose Luka, but with Cooper Flagg in the U.S., Kyrie, Anthony Davis, Dallas is going to be, they're going to be pretty good. Then you got Houston and Kevin Durant. And that squad, I think they still got Van Fleet and those guys. They still got a decent team in Houston. They're not like chopped liver over there. So Texas's basketball is going to be entertaining next year for the NBA. And we'll see. A lot of star power down there, right? Even the female, they got female star power down there. Paige Beckers, Dallas is Dallas got some. Texas got some star power down there. Texas, shout out to Texas. All right. Anyway, on a serious note, so Kyrie reads up with the Mavs. Let's read the story from Shams. Shams is all over this. He's like the number one NBA guy right now. So let's read this article from Shams on ESPN.com. Says that the Mavs All-Star guard Kyrie, he declined his $43 million player option. He signed a 3-year, $119. Mavs officials and Irving's agent, who is a family member of Kyrie, negotiated the new deal that keeps Irving out of free agency and in Dallas long term. So we already said that he got the player option for 27-28 season. Throughout the conversation surrounding the player option and the new extension, both sides made clear their commitment to each other. And the Mavericks placed a premium on Irving's leadership and ability to team with All-Star Anthony Davis and soon-to-be number one pick Cooper Flagg under leadership in coach Jason Kidd and general manager Nico Harrison. A leadership and cornerstone of the Mavericks alongside Davis, Irving averaged 24 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists last season before suffering a season-ending torn ACL and his left knee in March. Rival executives believe Irving, a 9-time All-Star, was in line for a major payday between $50 and $60 million before the injury. Irving, 33, will miss the start of the 25-26 season, but is hopeful to return as soon as January in 2026, sources tell ESPN. Mavericks are expected to open up the $5.7 million tax player mid-level exception by signing Irving to this deal. Sources say potential targets for the salary slot would have included Dennis Schroeder, D'Angelo Russell, Chris Paul, and Malcolm Brogdon. Irving's importance to the Mavs only increased with the shocking blockbuster trade of 5-time All-Star Luka Doncic to the Lakers back in February, only months removed from Dallas' run to the NBA Finals. So also ESPN's Tim McMahon also contributed to this report, according to Shams. So, it's a short report, and they're going to use they're going to go out, they're going to bring in a veteran, maybe a Chris Paul. I like Malcolm Brogdon. I think that would be a nice piece for Dallas. Paul, he does bring veteran presence, but Paul has bad luck. You just can't win with him. Like, no offense to Chris Paul, all-time great, top 5 point guard in league history, but man, he just can't win a ring. He can't win. He's like, he goes to your team and you do well, but I don't know. I think that if I'm to Dallas, I go Malcolm Brogdon. I look at him. And maybe I don't really like D'Angelo Russell or Schroeder that much. Schroeder could be a decent piece because I'm trying to think, like, what if Kyrie goes down or he's not going to be available to January, so someone's got to start the year. I like Brogdon. I know Brogdon's not your typical right now. He peaked probably in like year 3, right early on. He peaked very fast. But I look at Malcolm Brogdon, he can kind of service a couple months as on the offense. He's been on championship teams. I like Brogdon. I'm not totally. I know Russell offensively, he can shoot. Paul, obviously, from a veteran standpoint, can run an offense. He can come in and start for a couple months. Obviously, those guys are better than Brogdon, but I don't know. I just like Brogdon. I like him. I think he could serve pretty well. he only played 24 games last year, so he was he played 24 games last season for the Washington Wizards before being out in Portland. And then a couple years back, he was the sixth man of the year with the Boston Celtics. He won sixth man of the year a few years back. Had a really good year. So, I don't know. I like Brogdon. I like him. Not a great shooter, though, at all. He's not really. They probably go. They might go D'Angelo Russell. They could probably go Russell. I think Russell's younger too. I believe D'Angelo Russell might be younger. If I'm not mistaken. He is younger. Obviously, he ain't. He's definitely younger than Brogdon. See if I can find him. I can't find him in the system. Is he still in the league? Did they get rid of him? Are we on TV? Nah. All right. So, yeah, Russell, he's a few years younger. He's in his 20s. He's still in his late 20s. So, yeah. Russell probably will be the pick. If you want to go younger, he can give you some instant offense. Russell will probably be the second choice. But I don't know. I like Brogdon, at least as a backup to Kyrie, backup guard. Russell can give you something in short spurts. But Russell's shooting ain't great either. I mean, Brogdon is a better shooter. It's just that Russell could shoot. He could score better than Brogdon as far as in volumes. So Russell could go off for 35, 40 on a random night. But Russell he shot 39% last season. Right? I mean, he ain't a great shooter at all. But so I don't know. Or they might the safe choice is Chris Paul, of course, but with Kyrie come back, would Paul want to be a backup guard? That's the thing. How would they run that? Will they run a Paul, Kyrie together? And Paul played all 82 games last season for San Antonio and averaged 9 points, 7 assists. Will he want to be a backup to Kyrie he didn't really want to do that in Golden State when he was there for that 1 year. So, to a degree, he still played about 32. He played about 24 minutes in Golden State. Played 28 for San Antonio. His minutes are, going down. But I don't know. I guess how you deal with Chris Paul, obviously, you would want him to, as long as he's on the floor in the crunch time, I don't think he would care if he started or not. That would be my guess. I don't know him personally, so I know a lot of times that ego thing makes a difference, but he hasn't won shit as far as anything significant. He's gonna go to the Hall of Fame. He's the first ballot, right? When you 12-time, when you're 11-time All NBA, 9-time All Defense, 5-time assist champ, 6-time steal champ. Yeah, you're going into the Hall of Fame. And like I said, I think he might be top 5 point guard and one of the top 5 all-time point guards in NBA history. It's based off of his this guy he's been a top 10 MVP candidate for the majority of his career. Right? Outside of year 1, 2, years 1, years 2, and outside of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, outside of okay, that's more than majority. Okay, for most of his career, he's been a top 10 MVP candidate. He's been one of the 10 best players in the league for the majority of his career, roughly throughout his stretch, dating all the way back to year 3 when he was second to MVP. And he not only has he been a top 10 MVP candidate, he's also been roughly a good chunk of his career, he was a top 10 or 12 defender in the league, which is a big deal, especially for a point guard. And he's been all defense first team every year that he in his prime, not now, obviously. I'm talking about from stretches from year 3 all the way to till he got to 31. He was always in that all defense. At the peak stretch of his career, he's been all defense and all NBA at the same time. So he's definitely like been that guy. At least where you talk about individual like stats and stuff and accolades. And then even after having a couple years off, he ramped up his career back up going over to Phoenix for the next stretch where he finished top 5, top 10, 3 straight years, top 10 MVP in his mid-30s. Like crazy to think like a guy in his mid-30s could be a top 5, top 10 MVP candidate and still be all NBA in his mid-30s at the point guard spot. Like a position that has evolved when it comes to like, just a lot of really good. I mean, with the spacing and the way the game is played today, a lot of guards. I mean, you got guys coming in a given night could put up 40 on you. So to hold his spot, hold that down in his mid-30s like that. And remember, he came in the league at 20, right? It wasn't like he came into the league at like with Steve Nash. You know how Steve Nash came in and really took off at about like his late 20s when he really became a star. I mean, Chris Paul was good right out the gate. 20 years old with the New Orleans Hornets, the old New Orleans, before they became Pelicans. He was good right out the gate. So, he's been consistent from day one. So he's got a lot of mileage on him. I mean, he's played over 1,300 NBA games. Crying out loud. He put in that work. He's got mileage. He got 1,354 games in his career. Not as much mileage as LeBron, obviously, because LeBron came in at 18. But Chris Paul has some of the most mileage in the league. All right. I know I just went on a long Chris Paul rant here that has nothing to do with this video. But anyway, okay, so Kyrie got the new extension. Let me know what you think about it. Do you agree? Do you think that is Dallas a legitimate contender? Should they sign Chris Paul as a backup? Should they bring him Brogdon or D'Angelo Russell or Schroeder? Or what was the other one? Was there someone else out there? Should they bring in those guys? And will this make Dallas a title contender? Can they win it all next year? I think they can very well win it all. Well, I say no, but I think they can. I think they're legit. But the health is the big key here, right? Kyrie and Anthony Davis. Like when you have to bank on those two guys staying healthy, that is a big gamble. And Nico Harrison, he survived the Luka trade, right? Because they're getting Cooper Flagg. But we'll see what happens with that. Let me know what you think in the comments. Sports page run by sports fans. Peace.